Hi there and welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm IceMan and today we're doing another champion guide. Today it's going to be on the one, the only, the big black beauty herself, Armina. She's an epic attack champion with the Barbarians faction, magic affinity, and as we already said, big and beautiful, and yeah, interesting aesthetic to her. Not one of my favourites, I have to say, but certainly still a really good one. I do like the two little shrunken heads. I wonder who they're supposed to be. Obviously Jorg looks like he's got Bella on his back, so God knows who those good chaps are, but obviously somebody who got on the wrong side of her. She's got this like cool mismatched armour, like different on that side and that side all over, sort of motif with the knees, the knee pads, the breastplate, the gauntlets, the shoulder pads, everything's like different on each side, even the girdle or whatever it is somewhat, but yeah, so cool looking champ. At the time of filming this, new champion to the game, came out in January of 2021. Obviously I don't know when you're going to be watching this, so I'll say that right now. And yeah, she's a really cool champ. I've not had a lot of time to play test her, I have to say. I built her up, got her ready for this guide, and I've just not had the time to really play test her everywhere that I'd like to. Did her in a couple of places I was curious about, just to see whether or not she'd work or not. In one of them she definitely doesn't, so you know, at least I know that now, and I know I'm not going to be pointing you in the wrong direction. So let's take a look at her kit, shall we? We've got an A1 disciplined staff, even though she's not wearing using a staff, she's using a big cudgel thing, so okay. Oh no, actually it's the staff here, so it is longer, fair enough. Attacks one enemy, has a 35% chance of placing a stun debuff for one turn. You can put 4 books into this. It increases damage by 10 and the buff chance by a further 10%, taking it up to 45% chance for a stun on the A1. Not huge, but not bad, and you can always obviously take that mastery to increase that if you so choose, if that's what you really want a user for. Then her A2, Trampling Rampage. This is her big money ability really. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. When booked out, that 75 becomes a 100% chance and goes down from a 4-turn cooldown to a 3-turn cooldown, and you can increase the damage. That's pretty cool. Second part of this, it steals 7.5% of the turn meter from targets under decreased defense debuffs. So if decreased defense is already out there, doesn't matter what version of it, she'll actually steal turn meter as well as replacing the buff. Odd, but at least it means that she's got something in there that means that it's not just an AoE hit, it's an AoE hit that steals turn meter if they've still got the buff up. So that is pretty cool from that regard, and I do like that. Obviously at the start of a fight, if you've got her going fast, you've got her as your debuffer, you'll be putting that move up there. You won't get the turn meter decrease, you'll just get the decreased defense, but that's fine. Obviously if you're pairing her with other turn meter decreases, I'm going nuts again. If you pair her with other champions that do decrease defense, obviously you can use it as still turn meter. And 7.5 for each target, so you know, if you've had a debuffer go and managed to put 4 or 5 people under, that's going to be what, 28% turn meter, which it's not huge, but it's certainly not bad. You're talking nearly 30% if all 4 people have decreased defense, so you can still get a good solid turn meter boost from that. Then we've got our A3, decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 20%, which is big, and has a 75% chance of placing a stun debuff 1 turn on enemies who have their turn meters fully depleted. You can increase his buff chance by a further 25% up to 100%, and you can bring it down from a 4-turn cooldown to a 3-turn cooldown. I've not managed to do this yet, I've run out of books. Just as you know, these days I'm doing that many guides and whatnot, and you know, I don't get free books, I don't have thousands of pounds to spend on the game, so yeah, I don't have the books to put in her basically. I've tried my best. I've at least got it on the A2, which I feel is the most important place for her,
This one, unfortunately, I would like it, and it is cool. It is a good ability. Turn meter decrease on all enemies is great anyway, and then obviously putting a stun on people who lose all their turn meter means you can stun left, right and centre, so that's really cool. Then we've got a passive which is Head of Steam. Fills this champion's turn meter by 10% each time an enemy receives a stun debuff. That is really good. I do like that. That is a really, really cool thing. So a turn meter is just going to be popping up. Decreasing turn meter on one ability, increasing turn meter on the other, plus gives that decreased defense, which, you know, you've got what, War Maiden I think is the only other champion who really does it on the barbarians. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you're talking an epic champion that now does it and also does all this turn meter manipulation and actually hits pretty decently as well. So, you know, yeah, so far so good. Obviously you pair her with other champions that do stuns, she's going to be getting this turn meter boost left, right and centre, because it doesn't say when she places a stun, it just says when an enemy receives a stun. So you put somebody else like Scylla Drakes or Miscreated Monster, somebody who's good at stunning people, and she's going to be steamrolling basically, hence Head of Steam. So actually we'll jump into artifacts next. Total stats. Health is a fairly respectable 29,000, not too bad. The attack, again, fairly solid 3.7k. Defense 1.2. I've not built on that. She's got a ridiculously low defense, so she is a bit tough to keep alive. That's the only problem. I might have been better off actually, in hindsight, actually ignoring some of her damage and trying to bump up her health or something, just to give her a bit more or even her defense, to just sort of give her a bit more solid sustainability. But you know, again, I'm learning with her as you guys are, because I've only recently built her, so you know, it's a question of play testing, seeing how it goes. We've got a good solid 208 speed. It's not the fastest out there, but it's faster than most of my nukers, and obviously you want to go before your nukers to put that decreased defense, then they can come and do their big hits. And most of my nukers are below 200, not by a lot, but they are below 200, so she's faster than most of them, which is good. Crit rate, I would have liked to have got this up a lot higher, but unfortunately without stripping all my best champs and mostly 6-star gear, which as you know I don't like to do for these guides, I just couldn't reach the numbers, so it's a bit of a trade-off. We've got 85 crit rate, but a good solid nearly 200 crit damage still. Then on top of that we've got 279 accuracy. Now I would like that higher, but I'm currently only on normal Doom Tower anyway. Obviously you need it higher than that for the other one, and I'd probably gear it totally differently if I'm using her as my main debuffer in the Doom Tower, which to be fair on my account I probably wouldn't anyway. I've got other champions for that. For the purposes of this guide, obviously if you are wanting to take her into hard Doom Tower, if you can get these sort of stats with the gear you've got, 6-star, whatever it be, great. Obviously you need sort of near 350 to be debuffing in hard Doom Tower, and about, I think it's above 250 for normal, so 250 is a good, 279 is a good solid. It'll do you for all your dungeons, it'll do you in faction wars, it'll do you in normal Doom Tower. The only place this won't sort you out is possibly the arena. Obviously the arena, if you're going up against really high resistance teams, you need really high accuracy, so you would then say maybe forget building her for any sort of damage, crit rate or anything else, and just concentrate on accuracy to get that up so that you can do your debuffing. Again, it depends how you want to use her. So let's go take a look at the actual gear I've got her in. Accuracy banner, I've gone for a crit damage amulet. Now don't shoot me for the defense ring, there is a reason for it. Like I say, she is hard to keep alive, so giving her some defensive stats, and this does a fair bit of that. Obviously I've glyphed it out, so you've got what, like 12% defense there, plus some solid HP, plus in the solid defense. The other reason, to be fair, was the fact that the only attack rings I had were 6-star, and I didn't want her in a 6-star piece. The only 6-star piece in this build is this chest. Unfortunately, it's the only one I had that would work. I could not reach the speeds that I needed to without it, and not without losing masses of crit rate, which is already low enough on this build, as you saw. I would have had to completely change the build out and change the stat priority and everything just to work it around and waste so much more silver. So I do apologise. As a mitigation, you know, again, we do have a couple of pieces in here that are only rolled up to 12, not maxed out to 16. This build is a bit higher with a couple of legendary pieces, but you know, we do try to keep it as low as we can. Anybody who's seen my previous videos will know that my Grey Hawk is not all that starred out. It's doing alright, but it's not gold yet in most areas. Accuracy is the only one that I've got fairly solid. So this gives you a fairly good idea of what this champion can do at a sort of mid-game level, which is ideally what I'm trying to do. So for the mastery, I should have got off that just yet. So basically, because she can hit hard and she is a debuffer, what I'm trying to do is build her as a sort of hybrid. So she's got a good solid accuracy, as you can see, 279, and a good solid speed, 207 or whatever it was, 208. But I've also tried to get a crit rate and a crit damage high as well. If you're only worried about using her debuffing abilities and you're not too worried about dishing damage with her, then you can leave that out, concentrate on getting a good speed on her, concentrate on getting that accuracy right up there. There's so many ways you can build any champion, and she's no different. But because she does do a decent solid hit, it's worth trying to build her out of damage if you can, and still reach the other stats. If you find, like I say, if you need her in the arena, if you need her in Hard Doom Tower, and you need her as your main debuffer, you need to get that accuracy higher, so then you throw the other stats out the window and that becomes your priority. Okay, so moving on, we're going to take a look at her masteries. Keep doing that. So let's move myself over here, so I'm out of the way and you guys can see what's going on here. So we've gone down the offense tree for a fairly standard sort of damage dealing everywhere build against not so much arena but more for dungeons. So she can do damage against dungeon bosses and the like. So we've got crit rate, crit damage, singled out, straight down in to bring it down, straight down in methodical, and straight down into War Master. We've gone for the kill streak one. All of these boost damage. If you want to look at what each one does, you can do. I don't want to read them all out because it takes too long. There are many ways, again, you could build her damage out. If you're not too worried about her doing damage against bosses and the like, and you just wanted to clear waves, then you could quite easily do more of an arena style build. I've gone, again, because she is a debuffer, obviously we've got accuracy, into more accuracy, into more accuracy. This one gives her health when people die. Heals the champion at 10% of the max HP the first time an enemy is killed in each round, not even by her necessarily. We've then got chance of increasing turn meter by 10% when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expires. Of course, she's casting debuff, so that boosts her turn meter even further. We've gone for Laura Steel, realistically just to boost that one speed set I had, give her that touch more speed. It's not necessary, but you know, again, Evil Eye decreases target's turn meter when this champion hits them with the default skill for the first time. That's a good one. And then we've gone in for Master Hexer. Now, obviously, if you are using her in Hard Doom Tower or you're using her in the arena and she is your main debuffer, it would actually be quite sensible to knock off the War Master and come down and take Eagle Eye for the extra 50 accuracy, and that will boost your accuracy straight out. You can also look at things like putting her in an accuracy chest to get her accuracy up, so don't be afraid to do things like that, which, you know, a lot of people are having to do to reach 350 accuracy. Is a high number. Obviously it's really handy having those perception sets out there. You craft a lot of those, get some good accuracy substats, you get 40 for each too. So I mean, those, if you go for a full set of it, straight off the bat you're going to get what, 120 accuracy. That's without any accuracy sub rolls and not counting your banner or your great hall. So you know, it's a great set to use for her if you're trying to use her in those areas. So we've done all that. Let's take her into some content. Okay, so we're jumping in part way through a run here. This is her in the spider. Here I'm running a HP burn strat, and you know, she does fairly well. She obviously has a turn meter decrease and everything that she does with that, and increasing turn meter on herself, so she's really solid at keeping those decreased defenses up. The biggest issue you have using her in the spider is you need to make sure that she's got lower damage than what I do, because one of the issues we tend to run into using her here is she has a good solid AoE hit that does a lot of damage, and it has a propensity to kill the spiders. Yeah, I know, I'm using big words again. Anyway, so aside from that, she is solid here for it, but if you're going to bring her here, you maybe want to lower her damage a bit, change some gear out, whatever else, or if you plan on using her here more than anywhere else, just build her that way. Other than that, she's pretty solid for it. I mean, Stag Knight brings decreased speed, she brings decreased turn meter, so it kind of balances out. They're both very good for the part here, and both do exactly what they're supposed to do, which is decrease defense, whilst bringing some either turn meter or speed control. And they both do that really well, so she does work here. As I say, it's just she works better here, and the runs are faster if she's not doing as much damage. Not a bad piece, but we're going to sell it for the moment because I need silver. So I really should check before I do stuff like that, but you know. So that's her in the spider. Sorry I missed the start of the fight, but I kind of had a bit of a technical hitch with my setup and everything else, and started a run there and thought there's no point waiting to finish the run, we might as well just start the recording while we're through the run. I hadn't actually meant to hit attack yet, but as you can see, she does rather well, does some decent damage and all the rest of it. But next up we are going to take her into the Ice Golem's Peak. Stage 20, we've got Iron Brago in here. He does work quite well. Still of the Drakes, and the Still of the Drakes and her pair really well together, I have to say. Still brings stuns, and obviously her passive kicks in when people take stuns, so she gets turn meter increases, so that's really cool. And the fact that they're both on the same faction means you can use them both in that great pairing in faction wars or faction rooms in the Doom Tower, or faction only events like we have the arena going on at the moment. You can bring her in, she can be your decreased defense, does some stuns, does turn meter control, plus still does stuns, and you're going to do pretty solid in the arena with the team like that as well. As you can see, we're moving fairly steadily through all this, doing quite well. She does her job, which is basically just decreasing turn meter, putting the decreased defenses out there. And you can see this is going fairly well. So as you can see, we're going to take a look at the damage here. This time around, I have previously done all these battles and filmed it. I was just a complete idiot and didn't move myself back out of the middle, so I'm having to re-record all this, which I might as well just be honest about, you know. Stupid mistake, really annoying, taking a lot of extra time out of me, but weirdly enough, the first time I did this, I think she'd come out with like 2 million, Sil would come out with about 700,000, Armina, where she's strong here, came out with I think 1200, and Iron Brago was the one who came out with 1400. So as you can see, there's a certain element of RNG there. Xavier's actually done less damage, not much more than Armina here, who's actually done a good lion's share of the damage, along with Ironbrago, who's also done a massive load of damage. I'm going to be doing a guide on this guy soon. He's an absolutely amazing champion. My next video is probably actually going to be based around defensive champions instead, and then after that I'll look at doing a guide on him, or Vorgoth. I've got a couple in the works that I want to do. He's more built, to be fair, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, absolutely cool team, and as you can see, she really does slam. She hits, she does some solid damage, as well as bringing the decreased defense and all the rest of it, which you want. And then in the case of her, she's a defensive champion, he's a defensive champion, he brings increased defense. So I mean, you know, it's just good synergy as well, you know, on some of these teams, and these new champions allow you to create good synergy in places that you maybe couldn't before. So as I said, I'm not going to do Doom Tower, I'm not going to do the arena. She's not really geared for the arena. She could do the arena. I don't actually use a decreased, well, I use a decreased defense champion in the arena, but not for a decreased defense. My main premise with my arena team is locking people out and stopping them from doing anything they want to do. So rather than having a decreased defense and a nuke, I've actually got somebody, Hegemon, coming in locking people down. I've got Arbiter in there speeding everybody up and healing them up and increasing attack and all the rest of it. And then I've got Warlord, who also locks out cooldowns and blocks down cooldowns and all the rest of it, as well as putting up shields and healing. And then I've got Abyss comes in, she does the nuke, she hits hard, and she does hit pretty damn hard anyway without decreased defense. She does decrease defense herself, and you could lead with that move, then do the other. I've actually swapped that around due to the fact that her A3 just hits harder. And I find I win more that way because I kill more people off the first hit, whereas if more people are up, there's more chance that you'll get taken down. So I've swapped that around a little bit, and I'm not really using a decreased defense in the arena. But can she do it? Yes, she's actually very good there, because again, obviously she decreases turn meter, increases her own, she rolls around quite fast, and if she's built like this, she does a lot of damage. Having said that, if you want to use her in the higher levels of the arena, obviously you need to be building her with more accuracy if you want that debuff placed. So it's a trade-off, and at which point you're probably going to lose some of that damage. Bear that in mind, as we've already said a couple of times, I think, in this video, to be fair. But you know, right, we'll do a quick Dragon's Run just because we can and because we're here, and we'll take out Abyss, because again she's right affinity here. We'll take out Fushan, and again we'll put in Ironbrago, I suppose. I maybe should have brought Cillin actually instead of Arbiter, and then you'd get the pairing of those two again and the synergy. But I just want to show that she can work here and works reasonably well. Like I say, she is a good solid champion. She'll do loads of work for you in the arena if you build her right. Again, in Gold 4 and stuff, most of the time you'll probably find pardon me, a bit of a frog in my throat again. No, I'm not going to put the frog on the screen this time, I don't think. Although dancing frogs are always fun to watch, so maybe, we'll see. Anyway, we've got, you know, she does your decreased defense, she does loads of damage, and she does turn meter decrease and all the rest of it. So she is a very good solid champion. If you're in Gold 4, if you've got accuracy somewhat in the region that I've got, like sort of 280, you'll probably find that 9 times out of 10 you're still going to place that debuff. Not too many people build their resistance that high in Gold 4. Platinum, no, yeah, you're blatantly going to need to build her out for accuracy if you want to land that debuff. But in Gold 4, most of the time you'll probably find actually you can use her as a good solid damage build like this, and she'll still land the debuff. I would show you, but obviously I haven't looked at teams, trialed her out and seen how it goes, and then you're dealing with making what is probably going to be about a 30-minute video, a 40-minute video, and we don't want to do that, so we won't go there. To be fair, originally when I filmed this I didn't even do a dragon fight, I just thought I'd throw it in. I covered some of the other stuff I covered after the video during the fights anyway, so there you go. Again, she's not done as much damage here, she's only neutral as opposed to strong. So both her, well, Iron Brago did even less, but you know, then again, he is weak affinity here, I believe, so you know, that's fair enough and understandable. He still helped well enough on the waves, and we still got through it in a fairly decent time. Cold Heart obviously and Xavier carried the day, did all the damage. She did a decreased defense, which is what she was here for. So, do I think she's a great champ? Yes, absolutely. She's going to do loads of work for you in your faction wars, in your Doom Tower faction only rooms, faction only events. If you're lacking a decreased defense champion and you've just pulled quids in, you've just got yourself a great champion. Obviously she is magic affinity, so she's going to be strong against spirit, weak against force, so if you're going up against a mainly force team, she's going to have chances for weak hits and whatnot, and you have to bear that in mind, and that's the way it is with this game. But she will do work for you in all the dungeons. The only place I will not advise you to take her, and I'm going to stress this very strongly, is Finite. She doesn't have multi-hits, she tends to get weak hits, she's not placing debuffs, it's just not worth the effort to take her there, to be fair. If you need a decreased defense champion to help you get through the waves and you literally have nobody else, give her a try. You might find she does alright. She's a little bit harder to keep alive there because obviously she's getting hit harder and all the rest of it, but yeah, all in all, I think she is another really great addition to the game. Many of these new champions are, you know, Duck the Pierced, who we saw in one of my other runs, I took him out actually previously, so you didn't see him, but great champion, another new champion. In fact, we'll post a video up there for him. I always point in the wrong direction because I'm stupid that way, but you know, so we'll post that up there. Great champion. Lots of these new champions really are. Sanguinia's is the only one that I didn't love. She's good, but not amazing. All the rest of them, I think, so far are actually really, really cool. Jorg, I've just done a guide on him. You know, go and watch that if you want. And again, he's a really great champion, really good addition to the game. All these Iron Brago, the latest Fragment Fusion, again, absolute brilliant champion, really good addition to the game. They've done some really solid work here. Anyway, don't want to drag this out any further. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It lets YouTube know it's a good video and they'll show it to more people. If you enjoy my content, please hit that subscribe button, and I will then it notifies you when I post a new video, and you can watch that too. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.